when you find yourself gravitating towards information-based videos, I mean, not like the, people doing things type of video, like climbing a mountain, riding a bike, or anything. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about videos that you're actually getting some sort of content from. What happens is your mind will guide you to where it's conducive to the allowance of these things to be passed through and to entering the mind because it's been conditioned to do such things. Like, in other words, there's an actual filtration process to it. That's why you're always going to gravitate towards things that make you feel good, like another things that, like things that you're aligned with, that speak your vibrational language. So if you come across a video where the person is telling you, don't worry about it, everything's going to be great, you're super wonderful, nothing's going to go wrong, things like this, you have to understand you've been conditioned by lies that are packaged as the truth. So it's this soft conditioning, this euphemistic conditioning, this soft language that you're acclimated to. You're not acclimated to hearing the reality of things, the actual reality of things. You're not acclimated to hearing the real truth. You're acclimated to a packaged version of what they want you to believe that is, which is actually just a box of lies. So you're actually being told what you want to hear. Most people, they don't want to hear the truth. They only want to hear their truth, and that is the truth. And that's exactly why you find yourself gravitating towards specific types of videos of an information-based nature to consume the content, because you're resonating with it, so therefore you're going to embrace it. But it's not actually you that's resonating with it. It's the subconscious and the id and the primitive and all of your brainwashing mechanisms and programmings that's going to force you to gravitate towards focusing your energy on these things because they're conducive to the alignment of these narratives. Because you're not used to the real truth. I'm old school. I don't tell you, you're such a wonderful person constantly. I'm quite sure you are sometimes, but sometimes you're not. Sometimes you probably get grouchy and irritated and negative and, probably, get angry at somebody cutting you off in traffic, or maybe you had a bad day. Guess what? You're human. But you're being conditioned in such a way that, none of those things exist. Only other people, not me. Come on. You gotta live in real reality, man. See, that's why they say virtual reality. Do you see any video games that say actual reality? How about nowadays, artificial intelligence? How about natural intelligence? Is anybody missing this stuff? I mean, you just go with the flow. You don't question. That's why you find yourself where you are. So, you're going to find yourself gravitating to videos that just things you want to hear. How special you are, how wonderful you are, how amazing you are. You can do no wrong. You're always perfect. You're not a negative person. There's nothing wrong with you. It's the rest of the world, that kind of stuff. And that's why you watch on these videos, the views just go crazy. You literally in 2 hours are like 4,000 views, because that's like, yes, I want to hear this. I need more of this. But you're reinforcing a false identity by doing that. I seriously hope that you understand this. You're reinforcing a false identity. Because when you came to this world, they stole your actual identity. And they buried it. They buried it in something called the Matrix. And it just consumed it and gobbled it up and chewed it up into pieces. You couldn't even recognize yourself if you tried, because you don't even know who that person is. They didn't give you the chance to realize who that person is, because they took away your individuality and your identity and your sense of self and your true nature as a cosmic being. And they supplanted it with something, just gross and hideous, just so you can conform and assimilate and fit in. That's what happened when you went into their indoctrination camps, aka the school system. When I was a kid, they had what they called nursery school, which was before kindergarten. And then they had kindergarten to the, I believe it was the 6th grade. That was considered elementary school. And then they had junior high school, which was 7th to 9th. And then they had high school, which was from 10th, 11th, and 12th. And then on to college. But it's just a continuation, because college is actually the 13th grade. It's just more of the same indoctrination. So they get you from birth until you're what? In your 20s. What do you graduate college like 22, 23? So you're already in your mid-20s and you've gone through a whole saturation process of just being absorbed into this garbage. That's why nobody can approach you with the real truth. And if you look on college campuses these days, they take these like little pop quizzes. name the third president, or, what country is Panama in? Things like this. And they don't even know. What's the capital of the United States? Things of this nature. How many stars on the flag? I mean, just basic common sense. They're clueless. And this is a college campus. And this is the future. And if that's the future, we're doomed. We're doomed. You can clearly see this dumbing down program is working because people can't handle the truth and they can't handle reality and they're not being told it. That's why. Because from birth, especially the millennials onward, they're all just weaned on technology. That's why they call them smartphones, because they're smarter than you are. I hope you're catching on. I'm not a channel that's going to blow smoke and sunshine and smiles up your backside. I'm going to tell it straight. Like it or not. This is the way I roll. It's not about the messenger, it's about the message. This is hardcore old school right here, man. This is the way it should be. Because nowadays you can't even approach people anymore. It's just, even if you make eye contact, what are you looking at? I'm going to call the cops. That's harassment. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, come on, for God's sake. It's nuts. But this is the reason why you find yourself gravitating towards videos on YouTube of a particular nature, because your mind says, this is what we want. We want more of this. Go to that. Connect with it and watch it. That's exactly what's going on. When you have a channel like mine, you're like, I'm offended. I don't understand what he's saying. He's not telling me what I want to hear. No, he's not going to tell you what you want to hear. He's telling what you need to hear. And that is the truth, my friend. Not your truth, not my truth, the truth. The actual truth, not the virtual truth, not the artificial truth, not the bioengineered truth, not the genetically modified truth. The real old school truth. The one that actually means something. Not the frivolous, inconsequential nonsense that they package as the truth, which is actually just a box of prevarication. Straight truth, man. That's why I say, if the truth hurts, and it always does, you, my friend, are living a lie. Why? Because they've been conditioning you with lies. That's why. So that's why it's impossible for you to live the truth, because you don't even know what the truth is. You don't even know what it looks like, because they've never shown it to you, because they can't, because it jeopardizes their system. You think they're going to inform you about the real truth? Look at their colleges. Look at all those books. Physics, science, math, philosophy. That's all made up stuff. Where was that stuff 5 million years ago when human beings didn't even exist? How old is philosophy? What, 200, 300? Or like Plato's years, Greek mythology? Let's say 3,000. 3,000 years in comparison to the relation of the age of the earth. You extrapolate that figure and then you compare in juxtaposition the ages. There's a monumentally unfathomable discrepancy there. You see, these are new systems only arrived very recently that are telling you this is the story of life and this is man's existence and the sciences and the wizardry of the astronomy and the astrology, all the garbage. They just make it all up. It sounds like, wow, that's an asterism and that's a constellation and that's the Little Dipper. They just put names to these things. It's just hysterical. This is something they had absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with the creation of, but they're naming it like they're putting little name tags on things. Okay, that's Uranus, and that's the Little Dipper, and that's Arcturus, and that is this, and this is that, and we're just going to name everything because that's what we love to do. We like to put name tags on everything. That's the Sun, and that's Jupiter, and those are the rings of Saturn. And they're comprised of all of these things that we tell you, but we don't even have a freaking clue what we're talking about. And then when human beings are gone, where does all that nomenclature go? Right with them, out the window, gone and forgotten. And the earth is like, thank God they're gone. Now we can reset, we can heal, and we can go on to better and bigger things. That's exactly what's going to happen. But until that time, just try to grasp something called the real truth. That you're not that great all the time. You probably have some bad days. That doesn't mean you're a bad person. It makes you human. Imperfect. Not top-notch all the time. Who is that? Never met anybody who's like always firing off on full cylinders, positivity, high vibrational happiness, constantly. I mean, they're either on drugs or they're heavily blessed. Usually most Sagittariuses are like that. Some Capricorns. addicted to smiling. I think it's beautiful. But just try to acclimate yourself to something called the real truth. How do you do that? Ignore everything they tell you and listen to your intuitive senses, the guidance from your higher angelic realm. Not angels, biblical angels, just celestial beings that know more than you, that are trying to help you help yourself in your journey on earth, to avoid things of a catastrophic nature and to help you find your way towards things of a beneficial nature. Anything system, anything man, anything matrix, lie, poison, disease, death. Anything universe, anything cosmos, anything metaphysical, supernatural, good for you, help you, want to make you better. You see, they're always going to lie to you in the system. It's like lies this way, truth that way. It's up to you which way you want to go.